Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
Good evening. It happened today, just as neighbors at Harveys Lake said it would. Last week, we told you that the neighbors were upset because a road that had just been paved was going to be ripped up to put in some drainage ditches. At that time, PennDOT claimed it wasn't so. But as Newswatch 16's Valerie DeVine reports, the digging of the new pavement has begun.
The digging began again this morning at Harveys Lake, with portions of brand new road crumbling into pieces. Last Friday, Newswatch 16 told you about the controversy surrounding the paving of this road around the lake. The paving company had to stop working after realizing they would be paving over an area that PennDOT would have to dig up for drainage ditches. PennDOT officials said the newly paved road wouldn't be dug up because the drainage pipes were already in. I talked to Eric Levin of PennDOT. He says the whole mix-up goes back to the paving company.
There was a basic lack of misunderstanding. I don't want to paint them as any kind of problem in this. It's just that there was a lack of understanding or coordination as to the exact starting date and time.
The confusion over this project isn't just centered at PennDOT's offices in Dunmore. It spread to the construction site itself.
Now, maybe there was a mess-up in communication between our people that Eric thought we had that piece completed.
But it's not.
No.
This green line marks where PennDOT will be digging next. As you can see, half of this road has already been paved. PennDOT officials say 12 more cuts like this one will be made over the next several days. Levin says the total cost to taxpayers for this goof-up is only $150. They hope to have things patched up out here on Friday. They also hope to have communications patched up to prevent any more mistakes like this one. Luckily, they say, this one wasn't an expensive one. Valerie DeVine, Newswatch 16, Harveys Lake.
This is where it's all happening, the Moscone Center in beautiful downtown San Francisco. It's here where Democrats will choose their candidate for president and vice president, the people who will go up against Ronald Reagan and George Bush in the November elections. The likely ticket, Walter Mondale and Geraldine Ferraro. Let's take a look inside Convention Center. This is the floor of the convention. Close to 4,000 delegates have been delegated certain seats here. The Pennsylvania delegation, a large one at that, will be seated in this section. Already some of our delegates are checking out their spots, chairs that will be both spectator seats and the workplace for the next 4 days. The 195 Pennsylvania delegates will sit according to what congressional district they live in. I'll be back later with a live report from here, the convention floor of Moscone Center. On the whole, the Pennsylvania delegation is in strong support of Walter Mondale as their person to beat Ronald Reagan in November. Early today, some of the delegates got to see Walter Mondale here in San Francisco. Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci was there as some of our local delegates got to see him for the very first time in person.
United States.
Not only have delegates been talking about Walter Mondale, they've also been talking about his running mate, Geraldine Ferraro.
I think this particular woman, with her experience and her ability, will certainly help the ticket immensely.
I am pleased to introduce to you the next Vice President of the United States.
Today, some of those delegates got a chance to meet Ferraro in the flesh. She told a huge outdoor rally that the Democratic Party is more forward-looking than the Republican.
America is ready to face the future, and we are ready to lead.
Throughout the primaries, Walter Mondale was accused of being an old-style politician, a man without enough new ideas. But it's clear that during the general election, he'll be making use of Geraldine Ferraro to stress a theme of new ideas. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16, via satellite from San Francisco.
Back in a few minutes with a live satellite report from convention floor here at Moscone Center in San Francisco.
Next, our chief meteorologist, Tom Clark, is coming up with what I understand, Tom, to be a sticky forecast.
It's kind of sticky out there now, but a little bit drier air is coming in. Then more thunderstorms. I'll explain when we come back. Tell them when.
Dial a Driver needs volunteers to take elderly persons for medical appointments and other high-priority needs. You can show that you care by volunteering an hour or two a week to make local trips for senior citizens who need our services. Trips are planned in advance, and Dial a Driver provides insurance. Please call us today at 824-9809. That's 824-9809. Thank you.
Well, vacations are always very nice, and my wife and I enjoyed ours along with our family. However,
welcome back.
One thing I missed, thank you, Tom, is Tom Clark's weather.
Oh, yeah.
We had great weather, don't get me wrong, regardless of where we were, but we missed you.
Yeah, no severe weather along the way or anything.
No severe weather. We got out during the rainstorm, and we came back when it was nice and sunny here.
You missed the tornado.
Yes, we did.
Okay, hey, even as I speak now, there's a leading edge of drier air coming across Pennsylvania, and that'll make it feel a little bit better outside tomorrow, but some problems could come in after that, and I'll show you why after we have a look at the temperature outside now. Some clouds lurking overhead, some of them dark. The temperature is 85, it's warm. The humidity is 45%. Wind southwest to 12, barometer falling with this front moving through. The air quality today, fair. No problems there. Range in temperature, 86 on the top side, 74 if you want to call that a low last night, a very warm night. 92, the record high, set just 4 years ago, the record low, 48 back in 1930. That's a shot of the Nesbitt Reservoir in Springbrook Township, Lackawanna County. Pretty scene. Here's the view from 22,300 miles in space from directly over the equator. Now, there's the line there that is coming through now, a line of clouds and a few showers with it, and that line pushing through. Look what's coming in behind it. Pretty nice day today out to the west in Ohio and Indiana and Michigan. We'll enjoy plenty of sunshine again tomorrow, but look at this. Here's another fast-moving storm system over southern Canada. That is racing southeastward, and that will spin another front across Pennsylvania Wednesday. And then ahead of that, more showers and thunderstorms coming in here, I think probably before daybreak on Wednesday. So some changes on the way, then some cooler air coming in behind that for the latter part of the week. So no extremes of heat for the next 5 and 6 days. Our news team enjoyed a very comfortable day in San Francisco today. Sunshine and temperature high of 78 degrees, but that is well above normal for San Francisco. They should have a high of 64 for normal this time of year, so that's like us having a high of like 95, but it was cool. The radar scan shows area of showers coming into Luzerne County now. Some showers and thunderstorms in Bradford County and up in Susquehanna County. A very small percentage of the area. We'll see rain between now and 9 o'clock. Here's my forecast for tonight. Better sleeping weather coming in later tonight as the temperature drops off to a low of 58 in Canton. Fernbrook, section of Dallas Township, 58, 61 in Oakland, 56 in the Poconos tomorrow morning, 62 in Ringtown, and 61 in Milton tonight. So the drier air is on the way. Tomorrow, you should not hear anybody complaining about the weather. If you do, have them call me directly here at the station. 82 in Towanda, Du Bois Town, 83, Hollisterville, 79 tomorrow, and Evervale just outside of Hazleton near 80, Minersville 84 degrees tomorrow, and slightly lower humidities. Sunrise and sunset looks like this. The sun above the horizon tomorrow, 2 minutes less than what it was today. A shower in some sections tonight, maybe some thunder, and then becoming nice and cool later on. Sunny tomorrow, 83. More thunderstorms coming in later tomorrow night through most of Wednesday, a high near 80, and then very nice and pleasant Thursday and Friday with temperatures comfortable. So that's it, Nolan. We're in pretty good shape weather-wise.
All right.
For
well,
tomorrow.
We enjoy that very much.
Good.
Maybe a little tennis later this week.
Good idea.
Something like that. Okay.
Let's try it.
Thank you very much. Joe Zone is next with the sports. Tonight, a special series on what to watch for in the Olympics. Plus, a look at semi-pro football teams in Wilkes-Barre. Sports next.
Hi there, I'm Jane Adonisio.
And I'm Chad Booth. Tonight, PM Magazine will be cooking out with the Back Mountain Tigers.
We'll also go to Tennessee to a hippie farm. They're the last of their kind and a dying breed at that.
PM Magazine will discover that the real Joan Collins is hardly restrained.
And our own Gary Chrisman of Williamsport does a very convincing Andy Rooney. That's tonight at 7 on WNEP TV 16.
And before Joe Zone at Sports, let's return now to the Democratic Convention in San Francisco. Karen Harch is live by satellite on the floor with the delegates at the Moscone Convention Center. Karen, how are things going on this first day?
Well, it's fantastic to say the least, Nolan. This place is getting packed right now with delegates because a lot of people have been speaking at the podium, mostly officials from the state of California, kind of welcoming everybody here. And the bands have been playing. The people are all getting psyched up for this Democratic Convention. So for opening night, it is pretty good right now, but the big stuff comes a little bit later on. Former President Jimmy Carter is going to speak, and New York Governor Mario Cuomo, the keynote speaker, he'll be here speaking too, so there's a lot to look forward to.
Karen, we hear that there's a heat wave going on, something unusual for San Francisco. How are you faring in that heat wave out there?
Nolan, I think they knew I was coming because they are having a heat wave here. As Tom Clark said, temperatures in the upper 70s, and that's very unusual for here. Some of the delegates are a little bit sticky because there's no air conditioning in the hotel where we're staying. But all in all, they're not spending too much time inside anyway, so it's okay. Back to you, Nolan.
Okay, Karen, thank you very much. Of course, we'll be hearing from Karen and Dan Fiorucci tonight on the update at 11. Mr. Zone, how are you today?
Good.
Good.
I've got some time for sports,
yes.
They tell me, okay? They had a parade today in downtown Philly. Well, it wasn't exactly a parade. There was one city truck involved. A couple of hundred people showed up at noontime. I think most were having lunch. They didn't throw any confetti or anything at this celebration. I think they kicked around some garbage. What was all the non-excitement about in Philadelphia today? The Philly Stars returned home. The season's all over for the spring football, folks, but the title game between Philly and Arizona was nothing more than a joke. The Stars won big. They're the champs of the USFL. But if this league's serious about the fall next year, they can all go sell. The Scranton Eagles won their second exhibition, 22-8. They've been great on the field, but disappointing at the gate. Disappointment is a word usually associated with the Mets, but so far this summer there have been no regrets. They moved to the top with an 8-game burst. Even a loss yesterday left them a half game in first. And the other team in New York suddenly is fantastic to see. Yesterday, win number 5 since the All-Star break in a sweep of KC. I mentioned the Scranton Eagles. There's another semi-pro football team in the area getting ready for their season. Tim Karlson dropped in on the Pocono Mountaineers.
The Mountaineers, only in their second year, are in a new league, the Mid-East Conference, but with many of the same teams to oppose as last season. They also have a new head coach, Mike Mannion.
We're looking to take off from last year's point and improve upon a lot of areas, particularly the offense. We've put in a lot of new offensive structuring. I think Jimmy Strickland, our quarterback, is coming back in fine shape. He's really improved since last year.
This year, I think it's going to be a whole lot different than last year. It's going to be a more wide-open game. We look more improved on the line. Offensively, the backs look really good. Picked up some good recruits, and it's going to be a whole lot different from last year. I guarantee that.
If the offense that scored very few points last year improves and the defense can hold its own, well, this club will be competitive.
We've got a lot of returning veterans that had played last year, and that helps out a lot because we all know how each other plays now, so we don't have to worry about running into each other or where they're going to go. We know where they're going to be.
I think we'll do fine in this particular league we're in. There's a lot of good, balanced competition.
Of course, the bottom line with a semi-pro football team is to make money, and that, of course, has to do with how many people there are in the stands. So this practice for the Pocono Mountaineers serves two purposes. One, to make the team more competitive, and two, to present a better product to the public. Tim Karlson, Newswatch 16 Sports in Kingston.
That's all the time I have.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll see you at 11. We'll give you a little more time, okay?
You got the big stuff this week. Go to it.
Okay, Joe. Thank you, sir. And stay with us. We'll be returning to San Francisco to show you how much effort went into preparing the convention. That's next as Newswatch 16 continues.
Swimming is one of the great joys of the summer season. But there are a few simple rules you should remember. Never swim alone, and only swim in supervised areas. Stay out of the water if you are tired, overheated, or if you have just eaten. Don't depend on tubes or other devices to help you swim. Learn to swim correctly so we can all enjoy a safe and happy summer season.
The Moscone
Moscone Center was named for the late George Moscone, the San Francisco mayor who was assassinated back in 1978. Earlier today, before all these people started packing in here, photographer Bernie Jellick and I had a chance to wander around and find out what it takes to make this a convention center. Walk into the Moscone Center and you realize just how small you are. If there's anything bigger than huge, this is it. In fact, it takes up the space of 6 football fields, and we're underground. It certainly doesn't look like any basement I've ever seen. The initial budget for construction to accommodate the convention was $4 million. News organizations, Newswatch 16 included, will spend a total of about $15 million to bring you convention news from the floor. On what? Well, take a look at what the networks like ABC have built. They're called skyboxes. I call them 3-story buildings. You've got to hook up cameras, microphones, telephones, lots of them, and state-of-the-art equipment, live roving cameras with absolutely no wires attached. Of course, even with sophisticated technology, every now and then something breaks down. There are reporters, photographers, technicians, about 14,000 of us. Newswatch 16 will focus our attention here, where Pennsylvania's 195 delegates will sit. And you can see our delegates will be fairly close to the podium. And there is security, tight security. Workers here at Moscone Center tell me that behind the podium is a chute or a vent that drops down into a big steel box surrounded by sandbags. They tell me it was built by the Marines, and it's called a bomb box. Just in case a bomb is found here, they'd certainly want to get rid of it quickly, and that's where it would go. A lot of important and perhaps controversial people will be standing at this podium. No one wants to take any chances. And the Moscone Center is even prepared for an earthquake. They do happen here in San Francisco. Everything is built under strict earthquake standards. That's it for now here at Moscone Center, but don't forget you can watch live coverage of tonight's opening session here on Channel 16 and ABC. And of course, I'll be back for Newswatch 16 update with another live satellite report from the Moscone Center in San Francisco.
Okay, Karen, they look like they're having fun. But then again, this is only the first day. We'll be watching them throughout this week at the Democratic National Convention. That's Newswatch 16 for a Monday. Karen will have more coverage, as she said, from San Francisco tonight on the update at 11. For the entire Newswatch 16 team and crew, enjoy your evening.